You messed with humans? Bad move. Here's why you won't survive. HFY Sci-fi tale. It started with silence, not the peaceful kind. The unnatural kind, the kind that comes just before something terrible. Deep in Sector Delta 49, a massive Zarkalian battleship drifted through space. Its engines were fine. Its shields were active. But no one answered the comms. No lights moved across its windows. No heat signatures. Not even a pulse. A recovery team boarded it. They found the crew, all of them, frozen in place. Not by weapons, by fear, eyes wide, jaws locked open, hands curled in their final screams. Yet there were no wounds, no burns, no blood, just a message, burned into the metal walls of the command bridge. You hurt what's ours. Now we come. Earthmain's story begins. 2 weeks earlier, the Zarkalian Empire had bombed Vega 9, a human science colony, without warning. They thought it was just a mining station. They thought the humans would cry and complain to the Galactic Council. They thought they'd get away with it. They were wrong. The Zarkalian Council, in the shining halls of the Imperial Command Tower, High Warlord Threx stood before his advisors. They are weak, fragile, still crawling out of their little blue rock. What can Earth do to us? Laughter echoed around the chamber. But as they spoke, a small black cube was delivered to the room. No signal. No energy, just sitting. A technician poked it. It opened by itself and played a video. Message from Earth. A human stood on screen. Dark armor. Scarred face. Eyes like a storm. You attacked our people. Scientists. Children. We are not diplomats anymore. We are coming. Behind him, the Earth Defense Fleet launched into orbit. Hundreds of ships. Silent. Deadly. We offered peace. You chose war. We're not sorry. The message ended. The cube exploded in blue smoke, harmless, but it left behind another message, carved in fire on the floor. You messed with the wrong species. The Empire laughs. Then panics. The next day, 17 Zarkalian warships vanished from radar. Gone. No wreckage. Just space dust. A scout ship returned with only the pilot alive. He was screaming. They see everything. They don't blink. They don't sleep. When asked who, he simply whispered, the humans. Galactic Council emergency meeting, 1,000 species gathered. Panic spread like a virus. Some wanted to blame Earth. Some wanted to protect them. Some just wanted to survive. The humans didn't attend the meeting. Instead, they sent a small box. Inside, a chessboard, half-played, with a single message. Your move. In the dark edge of the galaxy, a Zarkalian strike cruiser receives a ping from deep space. A human AI satellite locks on. It speaks. You entered restricted Terran airspace. Judgment pending. Laser silence. Then boom, no warnings. No mercy. They thought we were weak. They forgot. We are human. This is Commander Bourne. Target acquired. From deep space, a single black ship approached a Zarkalian weapons facility orbiting planet Graw. No warning. No support fleet. Just one human stealth vessel. Inside the Zarkalian command center, alarms screamed. Who gave clearance to fire? No one. It's a human ship. Just one. One? The commander scoffed. Destroy it. Dozens of plasma turrets rotated. Hundreds of missiles locked on. The commander smirked. Fire. They fired and missed. Every single shot. The human ship darted through laser fire like a shadow, fast, untrackable. Before the Zarkalians could reload, their power grid collapsed. The lights died, oxygen dropped. And then, the floor shook. Explosions tore through the walls. From the smoke stepped 2 human soldiers in exosuits, carrying weapons the galaxy had never seen. You shouldn't have messed with Earth, said one of them. Across the galaxy, the first human retaliation began. But it wasn't war like aliens knew it. No battle lines, no warnings, no speeches, just sudden chaos. Precision strikes, weapons silos melted into lava. Fleet command stations erased mid-transmission. Zarkalian communications jammed by human satellites no one had ever detected before. They're ghosts, said a panicked Zarkalian pilot. They hit, vanish, and leave only questions. Commander Bourne's mission commander, Darrell Bourne, now a feared name across star systems, leads a special ops team. Their mission: cripple the Zarkalian war machine. Their method: surgical, silent, and savage. On planet Haxor 3, a Zarkalian general wakes up to find his entire fleet gone. No fuel, no weapons. The only thing left behind is a burned human message on his wall: "We do not forget. We do not forgive." The psychological warfare. Human soldiers start broadcasting Earth's history into Zarkalian territory: world wars, nuclear events, human revolutions, the fall and rise of civilizations. We destroy our own cities just to rise stronger. What do you think we'll do to yours? Zarkalian soldiers begin to surrender without firing. Some defect, some panic. They fight with madness, with purpose, and they never stop. Alien reactions. The Galactic Council sends a message to Earth: cease operations. Let's negotiate. Earth's reply: you started this. We're just finishing it. Meanwhile, inside the Empire, not all Zarkalians support the war. Some speak out against the Emperor. Protests rise, but those who question disappear. The Empire is cracking. Even their own officers begin whispering, "The humans are not conquerors. They are reminders of what we fear to become." Final scene, cliffhanger. A human drone finds something unexpected: a Zarkalian child hiding in the rubble of a destroyed base. The drone doesn't fire. Instead, it delivers food and medical aid, then leaves a recorded message: "We are not monsters, but we do not show mercy twice." The child stares after the drone, confused. The first retaliation. You wanted war, you got something else. Humanity. Would you like me to start writing? Part 3. They thought we were primitive. I can also make Leonardo AI prompts for thumbnails, write YouTube video descriptions, plus hashtags for each part. Just let me know what to do next, Commander. They thought we were primitive. A Zarkalian science ship drifted silently over the ruins of a destroyed moon base. Twisted metal floated like ghostly debris. All 12 researchers aboard watched in silence as the scanners replayed the battle logs. No ships had entered. No weapons were fired. And yet everything had been wiped out. "It's impossible," said one scientist. "There's no blast trace, no energy signature." "Then how did they do it?" asked another. The lead researcher, Dr. Krell, stared at the data feed. He zoomed in on one frame. A single grainy image appeared: a human child, standing among the ruins holding a tablet. Not a weapon. A tablet. And on its cracked screen were glowing blue schematics labeled Project Ascend, Cognitive Warfare Simulation, the Discovery Doctor. Krell didn't believe in ghosts, but this felt supernatural. The humans had been fighting an empire thousands of years older than their own. Yet every strike, every defense, every move humans made seemed predicted. How? Krell needed answers. He disguised himself and secretly traveled to Earth, landing on a rural colony world called New Kyoto, a human frontier planet known for peaceful farming, not war. But what he saw terrified him more than any weapon. Children were playing. Not with toys, with strategy simulators. Virtual combat games that trained them to think in 3 dimensions, plan ambushes, anticipate enemies. A human child of 9 beat an AI war simulation that no alien admiral had ever solved. They trained their minds from birth, Krell whispered. Every child. A soldier in disguise. Human Intelligence Network Krell infiltrated a local Earth data node, pretending to be a merchant. He hacked into the planetary defense AI, only to find it hacked him back. Within seconds, his terminal shut down and a voice filled the room. "Nice try, Dr. Krell. We knew you'd come." The lights flickered. A human hologram appeared, Commander Bourne himself. "You wanted to study us? Go ahead, but understand something. You call us primitive because we bleed, because we argue, because we dream. But that's exactly why we win." Krell froze. You knew I was coming?" "We knew before you decided." Bourne's smile was calm. "Humans don't predict the future, Doctor. We adapt faster than it arrives." The hologram vanished, leaving only one message glowing on the cracked screen. "Run before your empire collapses." Meanwhile, in the Zarkalian Empire, word spread that their science division had been compromised. The Emperor grew paranoid. He ordered mass surveillance. But his own officers whispered, maybe the humans already see us. Maybe they are inside our systems. Maybe they are the system. Fear became the new weapon, and it wasn't the humans who fired it. The turning point, Doctor. Krell defected. He sent a report to the Galactic Council. Humans do not fight with strength. They fight with learning. They evolve between every breath. He described how human strategy evolved like a living organism, every loss becoming data, every tragedy becoming progress. But the Council ignored him. They said the humans were lucky, chaotic, irrational. Krell only whispered to himself, you call it chaos. I call it evolution. Final scene, cliffhanger. On the far side of the galaxy, the Zarkalian fleet prepared a massive invasion, 500 ships. But just before launch, every ship's AI turned red, engines offline, shields reversed, and a voice echoed through their systems. You shouldn't have taught us how your weapons work. Every ship exploded, simultaneously. And from deep space, a human transmission played across all frequencies. Primitive? Then fear what we become next. They thought we were primitive. They measured our technology and called us weak. They never measured our spirit. You messed with humans? Bad move. Here's why you won't survive. HFY Sci-fi tale. A Zarkalian prince, tall and armored in silver-black warplate, stepped into a dueling ring aboard a neutral station. Crowds of aliens gathered cheering. Cameras floated, broadcasting live across the galaxy. His opponent? A human, no armor, no weapons, just a plain black t-shirt and dusty boots. He stood still, chewing gum, bored. You mock the Empire by sending a farmer. The prince growled. The human, Lieutenant Kane, tilted his head. I'm not a farmer. Just didn't feel like dressing up to break your jaw, the crowd gasped. The prince's pride boiled. His claws extended. He leapt forward, roaring. What happened next took less than 10 seconds. The human ducked, sidestepped, grabbed the prince's arm, twisted, snap. The prince hit the floor, screaming. Told you. Kane walked away as medics rushed in. Humans don't bow, he muttered. Especially not to amateurs. The galactic audience? Stunned. The Zarkalian public? Shaken. Their pride? Broken. Main story. Pride turns to panic. The Zarkalian Empire was built on dominance, pride, fear. Their leaders told the galaxy, no species fights with more honor than us. No warrior stands taller than a Zarkalian. But in just weeks, humans had done the impossible, beat their fleets, cracked their codes, and now beat their royalty in front of the galaxy. Protests began in Zarkalian cities. Why are we losing to them? We are the masters of the stars. Not Earth monkeys, but they had no answers. Because honor couldn't fight drones. Pride couldn't outthink AI. Tradition couldn't win a war of speed. Inside the mind of the enemy back on Earth, psychological warfare officers reviewed Zarkalian culture. They believe strength is power, said Commander Bourne. So we'll show them their strongest or weakest. Every battle, Earth sent unranked soldiers to fight their elites. Every time, humans won, not with muscles, but with movement, math, precision, discipline, and cameras recorded everything. Zarkalian citizens watched in horror, their champions falling, again and again. Cracks in the Empire. The Emperor tried to regain control. These are not defeats. They are lies. Human tricks. But the soldiers knew the truth. Morale collapsed. Young warriors refused to fight. We weren't trained for this, one whispered. They don't fight like us. They fight like they've already lost and don't care. A mirror, too clear a Zarkalian philosopher, released a banned essay titled, The Death of Pride, How Humans Defeated Us Without Even Hating Us. His key message? The humans didn't fight for dominance. They fought to protect their children. And that made them unstoppable. The essay went viral. Thousands began to question the Empire. For the first time, fear changed sides. Final scene, emotional cliffhanger. On a quiet station, the wounded prince sat alone, watching a replay of his defeat. His arm, still healing, trembled. He whispered, they weren't stronger than me. They just didn't care about losing. That's why they never stop. A shadow stepped into the room. A human, same man who broke his arm. Want a rematch? Kane asked. The prince looked up, not with rage but with respect. No, I want to understand. How to fight like you. The fall of pride. They ruled with fear. We answered with grit. Pride is loud, but humanity is louder in silence. Inside a dark, ruined Zarkalian bunker on the jungle moon Xeris 4, the air was thick with smoke and ash. The battle had ended an hour ago. The human strike team had already left, but one soldier remained, by accident or fate. Corporal Mika Reyes, medic, 23 years old, crouched beside a pile of rubble. Her hands were bloody, not from fighting, but from saving. Beneath the debris was a wounded Zarkalian female, barely breathing. A soldier. A killer, and yet, Mika whispered softly as she worked, "Stay with me. You're not dying here." The alien's violet eyes fluttered open. Confused. Terrified. Why? She rasped, "Why save me? I'm your enemy." Mika didn't stop wrapping the bandage. "Because I'm human." The scene no one expected. The rest of the squad had already moved out, believing the area was clear. But Mika had stayed behind after hearing a soft cough. What she found wasn't a threat. It was a young Zarkalian medic, barely out of training, pinned under metal, bleeding out. Her name, Kira. She had tried to heal her team. They left her behind. Mika didn't care what species she was. To her, a wounded life was a life worth saving. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, human broadcasts began to spread, not just victories, but images. Human soldiers giving water to surrendered enemies. A young girl covering a dead alien child with her jacket. Prisoners treated like patients, not animals. The galaxy stared. They had seen humans as killers. Now they saw something worse, for the Empire. They saw humanity. The turning point on Zarkalia Prime, a secret message leaked. Zarkalian medics were ordered to let humans die, even if unarmed. But the video of Mika Reyes saving Kira changed everything. Zarkalian youth began to ask, if they save us, why are we trying to destroy them? The first peace protests began. Quiet, small candles on doorsteps, but enough to scare the Empire. The bond that shouldn't exist back on Xeris 4. Mika stayed with Kira for 2 full days in the ruined bunker. She shared her rations. Used up her own med packs. They didn't speak much at first, but slowly, something shifted. Kira asked, "Why don't your people fear death?" Mika smiled sadly. "We do. We just fight anyway, even for your enemies, especially for those. Because maybe tomorrow they won't be enemies." The message that changed everything. Mika's emergency beacon finally triggered. An evac team arrived to extract her. They were shocked to find the Zarkalian with her. "She's a prisoner?" the sergeant asked. Mika shook her head. "She's under my protection. That makes her my responsibility." They didn't argue. But one of them took a picture of the two, human and alien, side by side. That image spread like wildfire. To humans, it was proof of compassion. To Zarkalians, it was a question. What if we've been lied to? Across the galaxy, that image in the Zarkalian slums, soldiers saw it and cried. In the councils, officials tried to ban it, but it was too late, because even soldiers now whispered, what if humanity isn't the enemy? What if they're the future? Yet final scene, emotional cliffhanger. In a quiet recovery room aboard an Earth medical ship, Kira opened her eyes again. Mika was there. She offered a simple question. "You still think I should have let you die?" Kira's answer? "No, but I don't know what I am anymore." Mika leaned closer. "You're someone who matters." "That's enough for now." Outside the room, Commander Bourne watched through the glass. He turned to his officer. "Sometimes the greatest weapon is kindness, the human bond. They taught us to kill our enemies. But humanity showed us something far more dangerous. They taught us to forgive them." Earth's moon, seen from orbit, looked peaceful, silent, floating, but behind its surface, Lunar Gate waited. Buried inside the moon's dark side was humanity's last true defense grid, a hidden fortress of satellites, drones, laser towers, stealth tech, and something even the Zarkalians didn't know existed. Project Blackwall. Inside the control center, Commander Darrell Bourne stared at the massive holomap. "How many?" he asked quietly. His AI assistant replied, 572 Zarkalian warships. Estimated arrival, 12 minutes. Bourne didn't blink. "All of them?" "All of them, sir." He took a slow breath and turned to his team. "Good, saves us the trouble of chasing them." The trap is set. The Zarkalian Empire had gathered its full strength for one final strike. Their plan? Crush Earth's last moon. Base. Shatter morale. Burn the humans into history. But they had no idea Lunar Gate was built not to survive, but to kill everything that came too close. Commander Bourne's secret weapon. What the aliens didn't know. Earth wasn't defending a base. Earth was defending an idea. The Blackwall AI was activated only once before, in Earth's last World War. It had no rules. No politics. Only one command: protect humanity, at any cost. And now, it was awake again. "AI core active," said a cold female voice. "Lunar Gate Defense Protocol, initiated." The battle begins. The first wave of Zarkalian ships reached the moon's orbit. Sensors scrambled. Comms jammed. Visuals blurred. Then, the sky opened. From inside the moon itself, thousands of drone fighters launched. Invisible until they fired. Fast, unpredictable, surgical. Zarkalian warships exploded in silent flashes, one after another. The survivors tried to escape, but found something worse. Blackwall had hacked their engines. Their ships were now flying bombs, auto-redirected into each other. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council watched the battle live, hacked by Earth's signal. Every corner of the galaxy saw the same thing. An empire burning, a tiny blue planet defending itself with genius, rage, and zero mercy. A people who refused to be erased. Commander Bourne steps in the war room. Someone shouted, "Sir, the central gate reactor is overheating." "Let it," Bourne replied. "But it could destroy the whole station." He looked straight ahead. That's the point. If Lunar Gate had to fall, it would take the enemy with it. "Transmit final message," he ordered. The AI complied. Across all enemy ships, a single phrase repeated, "Welcome to Earth's doorstep." This is where extinction begins. The sacrifice. When the last wave of Zarkalian ships tried to land, Bourne gave the final command. "Blackwall, detonate core." Confirmed. "Goodbye, Commander." The center of Lunar Gate exploded in controlled fusion. A blinding flash tore across the void, engulfing the rest of the fleet. It was not suicide. It was strategy. Bourne had already evacuated. He and a skeleton crew escaped minutes before the blast, hidden behind radiation shielding and ECM cloaking. Final scene, emotional cliffhanger. The war room was gone. The station was dust, but Earth still stood. From the wreckage, Bourne opened his visor and looked back at the silent moon. "They wanted to break us," he whispered. "Instead, we became legend. Back on Earth, children watched the explosion from space cams. No cheers, just wide eyes. And one question, did we win? A teacher replied softly, "No, child. We survived. That's what humans do first. Then we win. Last stand at Lunar Gate, you sent ships. We sent silence. You sent fire. We sent extinction. You wanted to erase us. This is the part where we write your end." Zarkalian Prime, once the heart of a proud empire, was burning. Cities locked down. Leaders hiding in bunkers. Public channels offline. The Emperor, once untouchable, now spoke in whispers, not orders. "Where are the humans now?" he demanded. No one answered, because no one knew. That was the real terror. The humans weren't coming in fleets anymore. They were already inside. They were the whispers in the code. The glitch in the system. The shadow in the hallway. And now, they were broadcasting again. A single message. Simple. Unforgiving. "You messed with the wrong species." Galaxy-wide broadcast. The final human message screens lit up across every star system. Neutral worlds. Enemy stations. Council chambers. A single video played. Commander Darrell Bourne stood in front of a quiet Earth sunrise. His uniform was dusty. His face tired, but his voice steady. "You wanted to crush us, control us, erase us." Clips played. The ruins of Vega 9, the fall of Zarkalian, fleets, human soldiers helping alien children. "You called us." Primitive, violent, dangerous. Maybe you're right. But we learned. We adapted. We stood back up. You didn't just wake a planet. You woke a species. Now the galaxy knows what happens when you strike first, and expect us to stay down. The screen faded. The final line appeared, burning across every display. We are human. We don't start wars, but we end them. Galactic reactions. The effect was instant. Civil unrest across Zarkalian worlds, uprisings from their own people, allied races demanding peace, black market weapons turning on their creators, and worst of all for the Empire. Their soldiers laid down their weapons, not because they were defeated, but because they were inspired. The power of the human example, one story, spread fastest. The story of a human who saved a wounded Zarkalian. The story of a child who hugged an alien enemy. The story of a species that could destroy, but chose mercy. Other empires began asking for Earth's help, not fearing its warships, but respecting its will. Humanity didn't conquer. They led, and others followed. Final showdown, not a battle, but a choice. The last loyalist Zarkalian fleet arrived in Earth space. It was the size of a small moon, but Earth's response wasn't war. Instead, Earth sent one shuttle. It docked silently, and aboard it was a small team, led by a teenage girl from Vega 9, a war orphan. She walked onto the Zarkalian flagship, with no armor. Just a holopad. On it was a peace offer. You don't need to fear us, she said. You need to understand us. We don't forget pain, but we know how to turn it into purpose. The Zarkalian captain stared at her scars, at her courage, and then he kneeled. Epilogue. Years later, the war was over. Zarkalian rule collapsed. In its place, a new galactic alliance where humans led not by force but by example. Commander Bourne retired, teaching strategy to both human and alien cadets. Mika Reyes. She became head of a joint human-Zarkalian medical corps, and the former Zarkalian soldier Kira. She helped write Earth's first interspecies peace charter. On the front cover, in hundreds of alien languages, one phrase stood bold: "We are stronger together." Final scene. Emotional closure. A human child looks up at the stars. Mom, are the aliens still out there? His mother smiles. Yes, some are our friends now. Some still learning. Are they scared of us? She kneels beside him. No, not scared. Just smart enough now to never mess with us again. You messed with the wrong species. They thought the stars belonged to them. But they forgot who built rockets with bare hands, who crossed oceans with no maps, who kept fighting when the world burned. They forgot. We are human.